As they roll over to turn number 4, 50 times through the intersection, 25 laps of racing action. And David Geiger's going to send him around one more time. He wants a good, fair, even start, and it looks like that front row definitely came out of line. Larry Clemens in the 03 and the number 116 of Chris Harmon up on the front row. They need to come to the starting line side by side, have a good, even start. Coming up a little bit later in our 1993 racing schedule, one of the biggies for this division. It's the Figure 8 Classic coming to Louisville Motor Speedway Friday night, July the 2nd. You'll see 150 laps. 150 laps. That's 300 times through the intersection. My goodness. And that's coming Friday night, July 2nd to Louisville Speedway. We're just about set to roll now. And again, we'll keep our eyes on that front row. Gladiator. Next, we'll take a look at our own Gladiators with radiators, the Pronto Auto Parts Figure 8 division, and their 25-lap main event for the top 24 cars in the point standings, lined up inverted in their order of appearance in the point standings. Out front, it's Larry Clemens Jr. and Chris Harmon in the early going. Here's some wild racing now down into turns 3 and 4. Look at this, 3, 4 abreast, sometimes maybe even 5 abreast racing, but everybody's scrambling in the early going as they move into turns 3 and 4. Tony Anderson had some misfortunes and dropped to the rear of the field. Here come the race leaders out of turn number 2 from your left, and it's the number 03 of the car driven by Larry Clemens Jr. out front, with Chris Harmon running at second, and then the rest of the pack. Tommy Gilbert at third, Rick Hine goes fourth, and Rusty Kelly rounds out the top 5. Into turns 3 and 4, we have a battle for the lead. Larry Clemens Jr. and Chris Harmon in car number 116 move out of turn number 4, and they have no intersection opposition that time, but we'll keep our eyes on them. Down into turns 3 and 4 now, Dave Staten, car number 07, picking up the 5th place spot right now as they exit turn number 2 and down through the intersection as the number 10 of Kenny Newcomb stops at the intersection. Larry Clemens in car number 03 is the race leader. Chris Harmon runs at second. Tommy Gilbert now at third place, although Rick Hine in car number 27 pulls up along the side and takes over third place. Dave Staten in the 07 and the 89 of Rusty Kelly also running very well early in this event. Another sample of the wildness of our Figure 8 divisions on Friday evening. And out of turn number 4, look at this. Several cars getting together, scrambling for position, and still avoiding contact at the intersection. Lloyd Pretty stopped at the intersection. Here come the race leaders now. Let's see what happens here as Larry Clemens threads his way through the traffic at the intersection and down into turns 1 and 2. The 116 of Chris Harmon still at second, while the number 27 of Rick Hine goes third. Dave Staten at fourth, and look out at the intersection. That's Buck Skaggs in car number 2. Again, Larry Clemens, the race leader at the intersection, and Chris Harmon is just about a car length behind Rick Hine and our race leader spins going into turns 1 and 2, and Chris Harmon takes over the number 1 spot. Rick Hine at car number 27 now runs at second. Dave Staten at third. Jim Berry goes fourth, and Larry Holbert in car number 14 rounds out the top 5. Chris Harmon, the race leader, moving into turns 1 and 2. Borrowing a race car tonight from Danny Skaggs. It's Harmon, then 4 or 5 car lengths back to Rick Hine, and then the 07 machine of Dave Staten. Staten in the 07 now, trying to take away second place from Rick Hine as they move out of turn number 4. Your race leader, Chris Harmon, in car number 116, moves through the intersection. Still early in the event, and the number 51 of Jim Berry makes some power moves towards the front, taking them 3 abreast over to turn number 4. Dave Staten and Rick Hine racing there with him as they move down through the intersection. And it brings out the caution flag. The red flag coming out at lap number 10. The red flag, so our scoring will revert back 1 lap because of the wheel and tire coming off of John Basham's number 1 machine.
44, 14, 89, 16.
Tony Anderson in car number 42 headed back towards the pit area with the left front tire flat on his machine.
Okay. Do that to 59.
00.
Okay.
03.
70.
79.
Do that to 03 and 7.
Somebody put their foot down on him. That's what you do to all little cops.
And it looks like the field is formed up very well. They'll send them around, and they should be getting the green flag this time around.
That's what you do to annoying little roaches. You put your foot down.
6'1", 103 pounds.
Once you got to do that.
And the green flag is back out. 9 laps. The race was caution flagged, and then on the restart, Dave Staten challenges Chris Harmon for the lead into turns 3 and 4, with Jim Berry running at third, the 27 of Rick Hine at fourth, and Larry Holbert rounding out the top 5. But then Staten meets some misfortune as he and Berry tangled, and then Staten collides with the number 27 of Rick Hine and drifts backward into the lineup. It's Chris Harmon out front, followed by Jim Berry, then the number 14 of Larry Holbert. Out of the 4th turn and down through the intersection. As we have 11 laps now completed. Chris Harmon followed by Jim Berry, then Larry Holbert. At 4th place, Rocket Roger Vincent and the number 0 of Raymond Johnson. Down through the intersection, and the top 5 cars are all grouped together now as they move back into turns 1 and 2. Pat Pierce and Rusty Kelly got together that time just at the intersection. As Lloyd Pretty in car number 76 stops for the oncoming traffic. Doug Hundley in car number 711 does it. And Jeff Roberts in car number 86 is spun out coming out of the 4th turn. Battle for the lead now as Jim Berry hops to the outside of Chris Harmon as they move down into turns 3 and 4. Larry Holbert in car number 14 now at 3rd while Raymond Johnson goes forward, and they squeeze through at the intersection. It's still Jim Berry and Chris Harmon as they move through the intersection. Larry Holbert at 3rd place as they move over to turn number 4. Now Berry has the more favorable track positioning going into turns 1 and 2, and he may... Eventually, Jim Berry makes this move to the inside of Chris Harmon and takes over the number 1 position as they race through the intersection with Larry Holbert in the 14, Harmon, and the number 0 of Raymond Johnson rounding out the top 5. Here comes the number 0 of Raymond Johnson around, and he'll take over the number 2 spot. Back into turns 1 and 2. And it's Jim Berry, your race leader by 3 car lengths. The top 5 are single file into turns 3 and 4. And now the number 16 of Roger Vincent takes a look to the outside of Chris Hartman for 3rd place now as they move back into turns 1 and 2. Continuing to monitor the battle at 3rd place right now, Roger Vincent. Now we'll switch up and take a look at the race leaders. And it's car number 0, Raymond Johnson, on the outside of the number 51 of Jim Berry into turns 1 and 2. Car number 51, Jim Berry, the race leader, as the number 0 is not on our leaderboard due to a early race penalty on number 0. So that was not a move for position. 19 laps now completed. Car number 51, Jim Berry, still the race leader. The number 16, Roger Vincent, running at 2nd. While 59, Pat Pierce, is up on our leaderboard as the official 3rd place running automobile. Down through the intersection, Raymond Johnson squeezes past the number 10 as they move into turns 1 and 2. Jim Berry in 51, the race leader. White car with the yellow wheels now moving down through the intersection. 20 laps completed. The number 16 of Roger Vincent, and look out at the intersection, the number 89 of Rusty Kelly just pulls out right into the way of the oncoming traffic. Fortunately, no one collected him. As we have 21 laps now completed. Larry Holbert now racing with Chris Harmon for 4th place. 22 laps now completed. Car number 51, Jim Berry, the race leader, moving over to turn number 2. Pat Pierce now closing in behind the number 16 of Roger Vincent. And Raymond Johnson slowing at the intersection for the oncoming traffic. 23 laps completed. And Rick Hine and Raymond Johnson are getting close at the intersection, the 27 and the 0. They'll look for the white flag this time around, signaling 1 lap to go. Car number 51, Jim Berry, into turns 1 and 2, your race leader. Car number 16, Rocket Roger Vincent at 2nd. And over the final few laps of the event, it was the number 51 of Jim Berry driving the Southwest Body Shop Auto Customizing Racing Chevrolet to his first feature win of the 1993 racing season. The number 16 of Rocket Roger Vincent and the number 59 of Pat Pierce